Hello YouTube, welcome to the channel of Arcane Gaming. Let's run some Mythic Plus dungeons in World of Warcraft. Today we are going to be running a Temple of the Jade Serpent, level 15, as an Arcane Mage. The weekly affixes are Fortified, Bolstering, Storming, and Thundering. I will be doing my best to give a live commentary of the dungeon run. If you're into that kind of content, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, so we are not wasting any time. This is a pretty suspicious first pull, but you know what? I will go ahead and throw out the barrage early to get that water speaker down. Already do have one death. Gonna go ahead and dodge the swirly on the ground here. Alright. Okay, unfortunately I did not make it into cover in time to dodge the Tainted Ripple, but you know what, it's fine, we're still alive, and we've got this living water down. Alright. I'm not going to be talking too much in these first couple of ad pulls. Specifically, this first section of the dungeon before the first boss is pretty brutal. So I will be kind of keeping the talking to a minimum. I'm going to be focused more on getting these guys down. The quicker we can get through this part of the dungeon, the easier the rest of the dungeon will be. I think I can take, you know, a couple hits of Tainted Ripple. Don't need to worry too much about standing behind cover, although I will show you if we do stand behind cover, we don't get hit by Tainted Ripple. That'll actually be the last Tainted Ripple before that water elemental goes down. We can move on to the next, you know, pack, the next trash mob. Okay, Tidal Burst has been interrupted. I have my interrupt available for the next pull. Since I do think this water speaker is going to go down pretty quickly, I maybe should have used Arcane Missiles to charge some stacks of my Arcane Harmony. But you know what, it's fine. We are going into this pool. I will go ahead and... Okay, Tidal Burst has been erupted on both of the water speakers. I will go ahead and perform a burn. Okay. Alright. Alright, and I am dead. You know, I will go ahead and... Oh, I'm in combat, so I can't eat now. I guess I won't have the food buff for the first boss fight. I'm just going to try to get back to the boss as soon as I can. Pretty sure I got hit by a combination of Tainted Ripple as well as a few Hydro Lances there. But you know what, it is fine. We're about to get this water elemental taken care of. And after that, we can actually go into the first boss fight. Okay, you know what? They just want to go in, so let's go ahead and go in. Then I'll go ahead and pop Hero. We can interrupt the Hydro Lance. Go ahead and do a burn. So the idea behind Arcane Mage is that you have two phases, the burn phase and the conserve phase. The burn phase is what I'm doing right now. Basically, you apply Radiant Spark to a target, cast 4 spells on the target, and then barrage for a massive amount of damage. Okay. Alright. Dodge the water beam. I will go ahead and move over here so that the water beam does not have a chance of hitting me again. We'll go ahead and farm some Arcane Harmony stacks. I did hit Shifting Power right there to get some of my cooldowns back. That way we can go into a burn phase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So that's not the best place for that, that vortex to go, but you know what? We will deal with it. Am I going to need to dispel? They are near each other, they can dispel themselves. Okay, there we go. We'll go ahead and interrupt Hydro Lance. He is pointing to the left. I'm going to watch out for where this water beam comes through. It is coming that way, so we'll go ahead and blink through it. And, you know, let's hit Evocation to get some of our mana back, then we can actually go into our burn phase. And this last burn should do it here. Let them wash over. 1, 2, 3, And there you have it. There's boss 1. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a slash cheer and move on to the next one. Alright, so we are done with kind of the worst part of the dungeon, I feel like. At least up until the 3rd boss, or after the 3rd boss. It's pretty much smooth sailing until we get to there, so I do have a little bit more time and energy to kind of discuss what's going on. Okay. Now, you may have remembered that I was talking a little bit about the Arcane Mage rotation, right? So Arcane Mage is kind of broken up into 2 phases. You've got the... Oh, I really do need some healing here. Kind of even dodge the storms here. Anyway, the Arcane Mage rotation is broken up into 2 phases. The burn phase, which is what I'm doing right now. Which again, apply Radiant Spark to target. You cast 4 spells, depending on the situation. It could be, you know, any number of 4 spells. And then on the 5th spell, you barrage in. And during that, you know, during that window where you're doing Radiant Spark, you are going to apply Touch of the Magi somewhere during that window. In single target, usually it's at the, you know, it's at the barrage. That's the 5th spell after Radiant Spark. In an AoE rotation, it might be early. But you have the Radiant Spark window and the Touch of the Magi window to do as much damage as you can until you go into the 2nd phase of the rotation, which is the Conserve phase, which is just use your spells in such a way that you have enough mana for the next burn phase. I am oversimplifying it a little bit. If you want, you know, more detail about how the rotation works, you can always, you know, look at guides on YouTube. There are enough guides on YouTube for it. The one that I like to personally use is by this dude named Phosphorus, who has proven himself to be one of the top, you know, Arcane Mages when it comes to running Mythic Plus content. And, you know, he has pretty good guides on the subject. But you know, if you're running a key level as low as level 15, you really don't have to worry about, you know, being amazing at your rotation. You, like, barely need to know how to play your class. The most important thing is that you do the mechanics of the dungeon properly and you don't die, and that's about it. We're going to go ahead and dispel the Thundering Affix on the monk here. And we can actually use this opportunity. If I do need, I have Shifting Power to reduce my cooldown, so we have them up for the next pull. But you know what? The way this pull is going, I don't think I will need to use Shifting Power to get my cooldowns back. Alright. Do have my cooldowns ready. Let's go ahead and focus the... I'll focus the Hosen, I guess. I should maybe do some research on this pack to see if, you know, it's better to focus like another target in this pack. But you know what? Focusing the Hosen has worked for me so far, so, you know, we'll just focus on that. Interrupt the Fit of Rage. I don't know if I doubled up in the interrupt or not, but you know what? It's fine. This Hosen is pretty much dead anyway. And getting hit by the storm is not great. Thundering Affix is out. We are going to want to dispel that soon, but you know what? I totally forgot that we can actually jump over the railing here.
You must destroy
that saves us maybe like 1 or 2 seconds of actually running down the stairs. Also, if you are looking for, you know, something to farm stacks of something, that scroll right before this boss fight is a great place to farm Harmony stacks. Harmony actually buffs the damage over Barrage, and so it's important to have 20 of those as we go into a bird phase. You notice the priest said change 7 stacks. What he means is that we're going to attack one of these, and they're going to get stacks of intensity. And you know what, actually when this hits 7 stacks of intensity, we will switch over to the other ad. And when we switch over to the other ad, I'm actually going to give hero to myself, since I do have the talent, where if I have this debuff, the hero debuff, I can actually give hero to myself. It's basically like it's kind of like a double hero type thing. Anyway, Peril has hit 7 stacks of intensity, so I will switch over to Strife. We are running a little bit low on mana, but you know what, we do have Evocation to get some of that mana back. Once Evocation runs out, we will swap over to Peril, since Strife has hit 7 stacks of intensity. Alright. It's maybe good to stand in this green circle right here of healing. Thundering Affixes out. We will position ourselves over near the priest. Alright, priest is taking care of the dispel for me. Once this guy hits 7 stats, we will switch over to Agony. Or sorry, Peril. He's casting Agony. And you know what? I will not use Arcane Surge here, since there is an ad right out of the gate after this boss fight that we will be using Arcane Surge on. But anyway, that's the second boss, so let's go ahead and give ourselves a slash cheer and move on to the next boss.
Strife feeds on conflict. When you have peace in your heart,
Do have shifting power to get some of my cooldowns back. Alright, looks like we are going to take this, you know what? Yeah, no, we'll focus on the Shambler.
Now, off with you. I require.
I was gonna say, I wanted to focus on the Mistweaver, but you know what? I don't think it's that big of an issue to deal with her, whatchamacallit, Defiling Mistcast. We do have our healers down. That's not the greatest, but you know what? I think we'll be fine. Remove the curse for myself. I think he might have been taken out by the explosive damage coming out of the Shas. Whenever the Shas die, they actually explode and do damage to you. Anyway, we did take care of the Mistweaver, so I didn't have to worry too much about interrupting the Defiling Mist. We'll go ahead and take out the main ad. I'm going to want to give myself a bit of healing. This might hurt. Okay. I don't know how I survived that, but you know what? We'll take it. And I think this is a great time to actually sit down and get my food buff back on. I've been running almost half the dungeon now without a food buff because I did die early in the dungeon. And you know, we do have time since the druid is running back. The druid is pretty much already here. So I would say that's some pretty good timing on that. Next pack is going to be this pack of 3. We'll go ahead and set a focus on the Mistweaver before that pull happens, so that we are ready. The pack is going to be dragged back into this hallway. We do have the ingredients for a burn, so let's go ahead and do a single target one. You know what, I'll remove the curse first over here. Alright. Using Presence of Mind was just so, you know, we hit our burn window properly. We don't want to be wasting the burn window. Basically, if you don't time your spells correctly when the Radiant Spark is out on your target, you won't actually hit the spells within the window of time you need to hit them in for the Radiant Spark to properly apply its mechanic.
The elements answer to me.
And so that's really one of the like the main difficulty of playing Arcane Mage, is just making sure that, you know, you're... Oh, I do need to focus on the Haunting Sha because I want to interrupt the Haunting Scream. But yeah, the difficulty of Arcane Mage is really being able to kind of time your windows properly. Overall, Arcane Mage is actually maybe one of the easiest specs to play, as long as you are, you know, aware of your positioning and you know, the amount of time needed to actually complete your burns and things like that. I will say it was much easier in Shadowlands when it was literally just you know, 3. I would say it was like 3 spells in the same order every single time, and the burn phase didn't really change it much. Over here in Dragonflight, it is a little bit more difficult. Anyway, I am going to interrupt the Haunting Scream before we throw in the Barrage. Alright. Monk coming out with a massive damage, that's great. This was a pull to use some cooldowns on, since we did have a lot going on there. Now we are going to take the middle. You know what, we'll hit Shifting Power to get some of our cooldowns back, and also we will dodge the frontal coming out of that Infestor. I don't want to get hit by that. That would be bad. Since the spawn point is actually very close by. It's right behind that door over there that I'm facing right now. But you can see the door is closed, so we'd have to walk all the way around if we were to die, and that would cost quite a bit of time, so this is not a place that you want to die in. Alright. I'm going to give myself a bit of healing. These Shas are going to die and explode and do some damage to me. Move out of the way of the frontal. Okay, Shambling Infestor is down, so that is good.
Marked by lightning.
That's down. Ooh, we are going to want to... Let's go ahead and dispel this. But we are going to want to res this guy.
Your forces are weak.
Okay, we have 13 minutes. I'll ask them for the boss.
The heart of the great serpent will not fall into your hands.
So they did not call for heroes, so you know what, I will hold on to it for now. We'll go ahead and go into a burn right now though, so we've got 1, 2 Arcane Blasts, 3. We'll go ahead with Arcane Surge for the 4th spell, and then we'll toss in that barrage. Alright.
Jade Serpent.
Phase 2 of the boss fight is starting now. I'll go ahead and hit Shifting Power to get some of my cooldowns back. And now the flame waves have turned green. The fire waves. Okay. We'll go ahead and go into a burn. I think we have a good window of opportunity. Toss it in. Dodge the flame wave, and the tank is down. We do have a B-res.
The heart is mine.
Okay. Those two are near each other. They could dispel on each other if they need to. Oh, okay, never mind. The healer is dead.
The cycle must continue.
I don't have
The
a
Jade Serpent
You know what?
must be
I
reborn.
have faith that we can do this without a healer. I have more than enough faith that we can do this without a healer. I'm not too worried about mana. Oh, I am worried about getting hit by that swirly though. Not too worried about mana since we are going to be using our Arcane Surge on this burn. That's going to give us some mana generation. And it looks like even if the tank does die from no healing right here, we are going to get the boss down low enough that we can finish the boss off without worrying too much about wiping here. And that's going to be the 3rd boss. Go ahead and give ourselves a slash here. And actually, the healer can release right now since the spawn point is right there, and you'll notice that the door is open, so he can just walk through.
Marked by lightning.
Right, we'll go ahead and interrupt the Defiling Mist. Tidal Burst can actually be okay, so someone interrupted Tidal Burst. I was going to say that can be line of sighted. I'm going to go ahead and remove the curse on them. And you know what, we'll go ahead and do a burn. I am too far away to do AoE, so you know what, we'll stick to single target. Throw in that barrage, that should do it for the Mist Weaver. We'll go ahead and finish off the Guardian here. We have 10 minutes left in the dungeon. You know, I don't want to jinx it, but this is maybe the best run I've had of this dungeon this week, and I think this is my 6th run or something of this dungeon. I've run this dungeon way too many times this week, and every single time has been, this has easily been the worst part of this dungeon. Anyway, we are going to hit Shifting Power to get some of our cooldowns back. I will go ahead and do a burn. Got 1. Okay. Get away from the storm so I can actually cast Arcane Blast. Okay, the Mistweaver is down. That might have not been a great use of burn since we are going to be going into a moderately difficult pull after this. But you know what? I think we'll be able to handle it.
The elements answer to me.
We'll go ahead and hit Evocation to get some of my mana back. Alright. They are going to need to dispel the Affix. You know, we do have our cooldowns back. And I will, you know what? I won't even worry about using my cooldowns on this pack, since this pack is almost dead, and the next pack is arguably the worst trash mob in the dungeon. So we're gonna save our cooldowns for that pack. I don't necessarily know about using Arcane Surge on this next pull, but we will be using some cooldowns. CC one of them. Haunting Sha is going to be CC'd. We're going to go ahead and set focus on the Shambler. We're going to run over here. We're actually going to go straight into a burn. You know what? We will even do a Arcane Surge. Right? Let's go ahead and throw that in. Shas are being summoned right now. Okay, I guess I got, whatchamacallit? Oh, the frontal is aimed that way. Haunting Sha is out. This is not going to be that great. Okay. We'll go ahead and use our invisibility. I have been feared. Not sure how that happened, but I have been feared. We're gonna go ahead and die here. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and eat some food first before we go back out. But you know, we do have more than enough time to deal with this. Okay, so he is calling for lust. I maybe should have asked them beforehand if they wanted lust on this pull. But you know what? We'll you know, we'll give them what they want. We will lust on the pull. Should I do double lust? I'll do a double lust. I think that'll be good enough. Let's go ahead and farm some Arcane Harmony stacks then. We'll go ahead and dodge that. I think we're in a good position to do an Arcane Surge burn right here. Oh. I'm like not paying attention apparently. Alright.
The elements answer to me!
Alright, so lust is over. We're in the green circle. Oh, okay. That ad is out. I am going to have to dispel. Come over here. Dispel, please. Okay. Druid did not dispel in time, but you know what? We're both still alive. That's really the important thing here. Is more than all right recovery. And yeah, this should be good. We have 5 minutes for the boss. I think that's more than enough time to take care of it, as long as no one does anything egregious. This should be all right. And we'll sidestep that a little bit. I'm not worried about my mana usage, since I do have Evocation. We'll go ahead and hit it. The ads are coming out. Everyone stack up for the ads. Alright, ads are out. Going to want to use a few personals on myself a little bit. Go ahead and take care of that. We'll blink out of the way. And you know what? I think this is a good a time as ever to use a burn. Go ahead and use those clear casting props before we go into the burn. Alright. Make sure that the tornado is not coming after me while I'm doing the burn. That would kind of ruin the burn. Alright. we'll have at least one more group of ads coming out. And then hopefully, after the next group of ads, we can burn the boss down before another group of ads comes out. It will save us at least like 10-15 seconds of time, I think.
See how effortlessly
Okay.
become
Let's group up together.
marked by lightning.
Go ahead and give ourselves some a little bit of healing to get through this. All right. Then we'll go ahead and prep ourselves for what might be the last burn that we do on this boss. Go ahead and use this clear casting procs before we go into the burn. 4. Alright. Let's go ahead and throw that in. And that should do it here for us at Temple of the Jade Serpent level 15. Let's go ahead and slash cheer. Maybe even an extra slash cheer for all those attempts we did earlier in the week that failed. Thank everyone for helping us through this dungeon, and even congratulate them for timing it. And of course we are a mage, so the common courtesy at the end of a dungeon run is to give everyone a portal back to the main hub of the expansion. And that's going to about do it here for this video. So if you liked what you saw here, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to see me run any other dungeon during Dragonflight Mythic Plus Season Run, let me know in a comment down below which dungeon on the roster, on the current Mythic Plus roster, you'd like to see me run, and maybe I can get around to posting a VOD of that. Anyway, that's going to about do it for me here. I hope you all enjoyed watching the video, and I will see you all later.